can you scientifically prove about energy? I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Is that your wife over there? He goes, yes. I said, do you love her? He goes, yes, I do. I said, okay, scientifically prove to me then why you love her. You can't.
You can just feel.
She'd lost a lot of money, and the money had been taken illegally out of her account. And she was fighting, and she'd been doing this for months. We did this whole healing process, and within half an hour she got a call and the money was back in her account. Like I said earlier on, it would be very naive to think we're the only species that exist in our universe.
So, Namaste Hero.
Hello, G.
You're the hero of the podcast. How do you feel today?
Good. It's kind of interesting, intriguing.
Lovely.
To share the next hour with you.
Wow. So I got to see you and I saw you as an amazing personality which doesn't just focus on one healing modality but so many different. And you do Sikhism. No, Sekhem. Yeah, that's Sekhem. So you do Sekhem and then you mix coaching with hypnotherapy. And this is so much interesting, right? Like people who are watching this podcast, they want to become the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. So let's start off apart from letting the audience know that you have been more than 20 years into this industry, and you were in Hong Kong, you were in London and India. You're a global personality. So super happy to have you here, first of all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lovely to be here.
So tell us more about you, first of all.
I think you covered most of the angles there. So I was born in India, Punjabi. I left India when I was 3, hence the British accent, and moved to the UK. Lived there until 20 years ago when I moved to Hong Kong with my husband and my family, with my children. Stayed there, and now I find myself in Dubai just in the last 6 months.
Oh, wow. That's so amazing.
So like you said, it's a global citizen. So really, I feel in one way that I don't fit in anywhere, but in another way, I fit everywhere.
So nice. So you're just like water. You can adapt
just
anywhere.
Flow. Yeah.
Just flow.
Just flowing and go where I feel the need is.
So nice.
And where the universe sends me.
Wow, lovely. So happy to have you here in Dubai. And so let's talk about the healing modality you do, right? Because now everyone is at some point in their life where they are having traumas, where they're having anger issues, where they're having ABCD problems, right? So how do we overcome that? Is it through this modality? And what is this modality? Can we talk more about it?
So basically, we're all energetic beings and we all have energy. And we have a certain vibration that we're vibrating at. And when we have a stimulus, it could be of anything. It could be a bad stimulus or a positive stimulus, depending on what that is. Your energy levels can go up or they can go down. And that can be seen through your emotions. So if you're sad, your energy levels will go down. If you're happier, joy, love, things are better. And depending on what your stimuluses are and how you're moving through life, some of those emotions stay and they build up and build up and build up. And it could be from a story, an event that happened in your childhood, and that event is still subconsciously impacting you.
Or even in past life.
Yes, it can be in a past life as well, depending on what your mission here is on this planet at this time. It can impact how you conduct yourself. And the universe kind of keeps reminding you of things that, this is something you need to pay attention to, or you react in a certain way to some certain triggers, and that's also another reminder. For example, I can use my own event where I came from India to England when I was 3, but I hadn't met my dad until 3. My mum got pregnant and he moved to the UK. And after 2 years, my sister arrived. So all of a sudden, my sister arrives. I am now not the apple of my father's eye. I am now the older sister. And I felt, oh, they don't love me anymore. They abandoned me. That's my 5-year-old thinking. So when somebody rejects me, or they're not rejecting me, they're rejecting an idea that I have, or I do some work and my boss says, no, that's not good enough. I take that, not that because I could have done something better, but it is really that a fact that, oh, you've rejected me. And that rejection actually is a reaction to my subconscious 5-year-old saying, you're abandoning me. So this is my own little example, and we all have these little things. And a lot of the way we act, our patterns, our reactions are all about things that have happened to us, like you said, either in this life when you were children, which is the traumas you're talking about, or it could be past life stuff, which is also something that could be traumatic.
Very interesting. Right? So what do you think? Someone can avoid that? I mean, like, even if they have the best of parents, like the most happiest, the most caring ones, can someone still avoid that mishaps in the childhood?
Well, it wasn't a mishap. My sister arriving was not a mishap. It's my interpretation of my world as a 5-year-old. For me, it's devastating, right? So it's not that it's a problem. It's just how we interpret it. And then how we kind of continue to unpack that as we go along into life.
So you mean to say, as we grow up, we should just analyze what patterns have we been doing and following, and just make sure that they're in the right way, not something wrong that we have learned from the childhood.
This is where talk therapy, different types of talk therapy comes in. So first of all, the basic talk therapy is speaking to a friend or family, right? So we all have best friends, and we have confidants, and they're the ones that can help us. Now, if it's just a simple thing, hey, do you think I should do this or you should do that, or does this look good or does that look good? That's a simple thing. But when things get traumatic, if there have been incidences where things are it's impacting you physically, mentally, emotionally, then obviously that's a different type of talk therapy. So that's where the extreme could be psychotherapy, right? So and then seeing psychiatrists, psychiatric treatments that are required. It could be a chemical imbalance in your physical body because of the emotions and thought process that you have. And then you can get into coaching, which is a different type of talk therapy.
So let's talk about that. You do coaching.
So coaching really is about raising the awareness of where you are and where you want to be.
Amazing.
Right? So coaching is looking forward. It's always like, okay, I'm here, I want to get there. How am I going to do that? What is the way I get into that that direction?
Target.
Whereas psychiatry or psychotherapy is normally looking backwards and saying, okay, what's impacted my life here, which happened to me before? Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of a difference in that. And then another type of talk therapy is hypnotherapy, which is hypnotherapy. One interpretation of it is that you can retrain your subconscious mind to say, look, for example, when you were 5 years old, you were not abandoned. Your parents still love you. You're not on your own, and you won't be on your own. And then if you can repeat that and subconsciously clear that story of how you were feeling then, which is called regression therapy, that can help you to be in a better state of mind when you in the present moment.
Wow, very interesting. I love the way that you categorize them into different ones. And so coaching, you do coaching, right?
Yes.
And so let's say I want to now earn $10,000 every week.
Mm-hmm.
So you guide people how they can achieve that by removing their money blocks as well?
it's not necessarily money blocks, right? It isn't just about money. It could be your confidence levels, your strategy, right? So there are different types of coaching. Some people do purely career coaching, right? Okay, your KPIs are this. You want them to be that. How are you going to get there?
Wow.
Right? And then and then you can have a strategy of how you're going to get from A to B. Right? Or how you're going to increase your sales or whatever. Yeah. But to get there, what beneath that's the physical goal that you can do. But what's mentally stopping you from doing that? Mentally, it could be the fact that, oh, well, I don't feel confident. I'm not sure about that. I don't like the people I'm working with. I don't really like this job. So all of these things could be impacting how you're going to achieve that.
And so you mix coaching with hypnotherapy.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell us about one case that you have had and, like you used both of your talents and skill to overcome the challenges that the person had.
Okay.
There are many.
Without mentioning any names or anything.
Course.
So one is where she, a client of mine, wasn't happy in her marriage, but she didn't know why she was unhappy. And we I spent, first of all, is to coach her. So, right, we talked about the relationship, the dynamics of the relationship, and what were the patterns in the relationship. And the idea of all of that is to make somebody, your client, aware of what they're doing, what their actions are, the impact of their actions, and what the actions the other person is doing, and the impact of their actions on them, and vice versa. So trying to just kind of almost sitting outside, or my teacher used to call it sitting on the ceiling and looking down and seeing what the bigger picture is, not just the little bit in the middle. And it all came down to confidence. And the confidence is like, okay, so when was the first time you didn't feel confident, right? So this is when we did hypnotherapy. And it came down to actually a past life in her case where she wasn't confident. And we went back there, rewrote the narrative in the subconscious mind of how she looked at confidence then, and how that didn't apply in this present moment for her with her relationship. She actually left her husband after that session.
Which is good.
Well, because it wasn't working, and she didn't have the courage or the confidence to face the fact that it wasn't working. But the week later, she came back and said, "Oh, by the way, I moved out." I thought, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So in hypnotherapy, you are reprogramming the subconscious mind, right? I think that there are 2 times at which you can do it very easily. That is before sleeping and after getting up. So usually what I do is I put affirmations before I sleep and it's just playing so that I can, reprogram. How do you do that because I see at any time of the day you can do it. Like what's your pro tip that, you just go instantly like that? How's it?
So 2 things. Firstly is mindful moments, I call them. So when you have a trigger and you're recognizing something coming up, which is not quite what you want, an emotion because of the thought that trigger has created, then it creates an emotion. And then you think, and the mindful moment there is just to take a breath. And 3 breaths, deep breaths. And the idea when you concentrate on your breath, you can't think of anything else because we can only focus on one thing at one time. And 3 breaths normally take you a moment. So if you can increase that to 2 moments and to 3 moments, just even by putting your hand on your belly and breathing, that can help.
Wow, that's such a nice one. And so I was in fact talking to a friend of mine and he's been trying a lot to quit smoking, but he's not able to do so. So what are your tips for the people who are in this situation currently? They really want to leave. They're trying and they're trying some different ways out, but somehow they're getting back into the same loop.
The loop is exactly the thing. It's a pattern, right? So smoking is something similar, for example, to emotional eating. So when you have a trigger and you're not feeling, you don't like that trigger, so you want to make yourself feel better. So some people will reach out for a cake. Some people will have a coffee. Some people will have a drink. Some people will take a cigarette. So the key here is to work out what you need that for. Why do you want to have that cigarette? And what is it achieving? My coach, I love his phrase, he always says, in service of what? What are you doing this in service of? Is it for you? Is it for something else? Is it for your emotion? Is it for your mental state? So that's always a good thing to be asking yourself.
Wow.
And then that way you can speak to someone and say, well, every time this happens, I think, oh God, I've got to have a cigarette or I've got to have a drink. So what else can you do? And that's where the coaching and hypnotherapy comes in, is to say, well, that's what can you do to not go in that direction and choose a different option?
So nice, so nice. And now let's also talk about your love topic and my love topic, in fact, the Sekhem.
So Sekhem.
Origins.
So origins, it's if we all believe that all energy comes from source, God, whatever universe, whatever you think that is, all energy comes from there. And we are all able to access that energy. Now, and you could call it universal energy, you could call it the sun, the central sun, the great sun, whatever you want to call it. With our intention, we can actually kind of focus and say, right, well, I really want to, I really want to kind of just feel better. Now, just by putting that vibration, I want to feel better. You're putting out to the universe, give me better, right? Or if you turn around and say, I don't want to feel small. I don't want to be scared. If you put, I don't want to be scared into Google, it's going to give you scared, right? So this is where energy is all about accessing different types of energy, right? From the universe. And Sekhem is a particular frequency of energy. And through Egyptian protocols, because it has Egyptian nuances, there's an initiation process where which I was very honored to learn from Helen Below, the founder of Sekhem. And on this earth plane this time round.
Wow.
So it is very ancient, and it's able to get the ability to channel that energy through you, through me, so I can give it to other people.
Wow. So it's basically like channeler, psychic healer.
Yes, but we're talking about energy here. We're not talking. Yeah, psychic healing is slightly different.
That is from a higher self or spirits? I think that's different.
Yeah, it's different. So this is what we're doing, is we're asking for like a specific frequency. For example, let's look at a radio. If you're going to be putting that dial, you can say, right, I want just sun energy today. That's the frequency I'm looking for. Or I want Reiki, which is a different frequency, which is also an energy healing modality. Or it could, and in this instance, I'm saying I want Sekhem energy. So depending on what your intention is and where your focus is, you can call upon that energy. And that energy, through initiation, you're charged with that energy, and through your intention and words, you can call that energy in. Now, once the energy in comes, it's almost like pouring. If this is your being, you're pouring, like putting water into a vessel. You're pouring the energy in. So with your intention, say, well, look, I've got these problems. I want to solve those. So the energy will go in to help you with that. But also there might be stuff that's hiding. And that's the opportunity for the energy to also go into that kind of, different shaped vessel. You put energy into that, like water, and the water will go everywhere. So will the energy. And the energy can help you, again, become aware. Once you're aware, my thing is, if you're aware of a problem, that's half the work
solution,
done.
yeah.
Then you find, okay, so how am I going to work with this? So the energy can help you in various different ways. I teach it, and I've been teaching it for the past 12 years, and I travel around the world to teach it. But I also do sessions. And now with my sessions and my teaching, I combine a little bit of coaching in there to help people ask the right questions. So rather than the practitioner saying, well, I think this energy is this, I think I'm getting this for you, what do you think? You can say, well, look, I'm getting this, what does that mean to you? Because remember, it's not your interpretation that matters, it's what they're feeling, because it's their healing session, the energy that they're experiencing. You are just basically holding the space for them to be able to explore, which goes with every modality. A lot of people say, oh, so and so is a great healer. No, they're not. Nobody heals somebody else.
Yeah.
We only have the ability to heal ourselves. And by healing ourselves, so what the practitioner does is really just hold the space. They can guide, they can reassure, they can support, but really it's just to hold the space for them so that they can explore and be brave and be courageous to be able to look at things that maybe they don't want to look at. And that's how I feel that energy is most beneficial.
Wow, super amazing. So you tap into that frequency, and is it just like preparing a lot before, or is just like now you tap into it very quickly?
Once you're initiated into it, there's a whole ceremony that occurs. It's about half an hour protocol that I go through. Our initiation process is between the person, the teacher, the person, and the energy, right? So I call in the energy, I initiate you, and the energy comes through me, goes to you. Wow. I don't do group initiations or group attunements because it needs to be a pure and clear connection from source through me to you, so that you are permanently charged with that energy. And then you can call upon that energy as and when you want to, and use it for yourself, which everyone should do, and then help other people by using it. And then basically you become a channel of the energy, right? So my teacher, Helen Bellow, used to say, at the time it was a bit more not so friendly, as like a piece of plastic pipe. I would like to say like a glass straw or something now, that the energy comes through us and given to the client.
Nice. And so how long is the process, like if someone enters this healing modality, right? How long does it take? And is like one session okay where someone can really have a change, or it needs number of sessions to really get the problem and have the solution?
It varies. Sometimes, I've had examples of, I did a session, one session, and 5 years later I met the person. She goes, "You changed my life." And you think, oh, okay. Lovely. Thank you so much, because, you did the work. I just helped, I just helped you there. And then there's other sessions where people, there's more to unpack. There might be, again, those blocks, the mind, the patterning, impact from your culture, your customs, your family. There's all sorts of different things. And again, it's your interpretation and how you deal with those that the client is having to address. So it could take more than one session. It could take, I don't know, some people come back once a month just for a top up because they just want to feel better and just experience the energy as well.
So nice. So I think what is happening is a lot of people, they are not aligned to their purpose. And so like, what are the major problems you see in this? You know, why they are not aligned to their purpose? There can be many reasons, of course, but what are the top reasons that someone can really like watch this video and say, okay, shit, like I've been doing this wrong, so now I need to do ABCD to get it there?
It really, we go through life, the alignment side of it. When we're children, our parents want us to go in certain directions. Okay, you have to be, you know, a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant,
Talk about it.
or an engineer, right? And if you turn around and say, well, no, actually, I want to be a musician. It's challenging for the parent, because they no, you don't want to do that. You want to go in this direction, and you know, parents can force their children into go to a certain direction. And that when you're forced to do something and it is not flowing, you know, you're going upstream again. Yeah, the resistance is there. That's going to impact you on your performance and your success and in everything you do. A lot of people find it later in life that they feel, well, no, this is not, I'm just not enjoying this. I don't like this. I remember speaking to a lot of lady lawyers a few years back in Hong Kong, and they were, you know, very, very, very focused. And I just asked them, because I said, what brings you joy? And they were flummoxed. They didn't know what brought them joy, because they never thought of things as joy.
Wow.
Right? So that's something is like, so how do you want to feel? Right? How are you going to, because we want to be in that state and that frequency of peace or freedom or whatever you want to call it. But how do you get there, and what's going to create that? So it's really not just aligning, you know, with your purpose, but it's almost aligning with your frequency. How do you want to feel, and how are you going to achieve that?
Wow. Yeah, I always say the universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe always gives you who you are. So
yes, it does, all the time.
We have to be that.
You mentioned earlier on about money problems, right? So money problems is like, no. Oh, I don't have enough.
Or spiritual people don't need money.
There is that, right? Spiritual tip. Yes, you are. So first of all, I don't have enough. The universe goes, oh, not enough. The law of reflection on the mirroring will turn around and say, okay, I'm going to give you more of not enough. So it's a vicious cycle. And when it comes to spiritual people, you know, not charging for what they do, or they don't have enough. Well, the spiritual people, they kind of have moved into a mindset of being of service, trying to help people, helping themselves usually first, and then moving on to being able to help other people. But what happens there is that you still have to live in the 3D world. You still have to pay your taxes. You still have to pay your bills. And guess what? You need to eat, and you need to have a life.
To have a life where you can travel freely, you can...
Exactly. So it's a kind of a foot in both sides, right? So yes, you have to do the functional stuff that everybody is doing. And I feel that, you know, as spiritual, the more spiritual you become, that's an absolute honor and gift, because you can now see beyond the hamster wheel that society has put you on. Oh, no, you've got to do this, and this. And if you do this, you'll get that. Not necessarily. It doesn't quite work like that, right? Because some people, before you get there, then they're finished, right? Burnout, emotional problem, relationships failure, all of that. So are you then, going back to what you said originally, are you aligning with what you really want? and you're not.
So true. Yeah. And that's why like the whole last few years have been becoming the best version of myself.
Yes.
So because if I do that, automatically the girl of my life will appear. Automatically that money
Absolutely.
is going to come. Everything. So with your experience, what's the current situation that people are facing a lot? Like,
Given social media, let's go there.
let's go there.
Right? So social media.
Yeah.
And because of we had COVID as well, right? So 2019 was COVID, 2020, right? We're kind of 5 years down now. In those years, people who are in their formative years, including my sons, they've been forced to live in a certain way behind screens. Not communication. Lots of people were working from home. Zoom, if you'd invested in Zoom, you'd be very, very rich now. Exactly, right? So I feel what's happened is human beings, we're wired to communicate, to find community, to connect. And when we connect, that's where we thrive. But people are now connecting through a device, and they're choosing who and what they're connecting to. And when you do that, you're limiting of your experience. You have to feel. I think you have to kind of you have to experience everything. So go, no, I'm good at that, or I'm not good at that. And what's happening is people don't even pick up the phone and speak to people. I've seen Gen Z who I meet who can't hold a conversation in person. That is something that I think that's an real issue at the moment, is being the communication skills and confidence. Right, because it's so easy to sit behind a screen and not engage, engage in a certain way, or just be an observer of others.
Or just type anything, give random bad comments to someone also is a thing. And the most weird thing is the short form, the slangs, roll up and this and that. I don't never understand the
my
slangs.
God, the number of times I've had to look up and say, what does that mean? Because, I'm pretty savvy on this kind of stuff, but
this is...
I think new words are being created all the time. Necessarily or unnecessarily, right? I might be a bit old school. I will still pick up the phone and talk to someone. I don't feel that because it's a communication. We have a voice, right? We are able to speak, so we should be communicating.
So true.
So I think that's something that we should kind of encourage more.
So nice. Yeah, and this is happening on the one side, and the other side, which I've seen. Have you seen this? Dubai Kirtan Bhajans, or like even in India, what people are doing is community of people are gathering and they're not using alcohol, nothing smoking, and they're just enjoying kirtans, like a lot of bhajans they're enjoying. So that community is really growing big. So I find this very interesting.
Well, think about it. But I'm Sikh, right? So I will go to the Gurdwara. I will listen to the prayers, listen to the Shabbats. Same thing. Kirtan is kirtan.
Yeah.
And what you're doing there is listening, right? But not only listening, you're feeling. And if you're sitting next to people, there's an energy.
Wow.
And it's what happens is it's called a collective consciousness, because everyone's focusing on the same thing.
Wow.
So when you focus something on the same thing, the intention grows. Exactly. So that's why it feels so comfortable being in a community.
So lovely.
Because it's, and everyone is kind of trying to, you're focusing on a voice and the sound and the music and the repetitive, because it's about affirmations, right? But it's like a collective affirmation. And that will put you into a relaxed trance mode. And that is a form of meditation. So absolutely, Kirtan, I think, is a great thing.
Lovely. To those who are watching this and have problems in their relationships, What's one tip you want to give them?
The one tip, I know this could be a little bit difficult. First of all, is take a breath, that mindful moment, walk away, just breathe, right? Just breathe. And then feel what you're feeling, right? And then look at that other person and say, right, put yourselves in their shoes. And what's happening? What can they see in the opposite direction when they're looking at you? Because we can go so about me. But, what about me? What about me? What about me? But it isn't just about me. It's also us. And we forget the us, right? Because every relationship is a partnership. Could be it a marriage, a friendship, a corporate transaction, whatever it is, it's a partnership. And it always needs to be a win-win, because a win-lose or lose-win is not going to achieve anything, because somebody in that, in those two parties walks away happy and somebody walks away sad. So I always think, okay, so I'm feeling like this. So why is he feeling like that? What's happening there? Why is he doing that? I mean, I've been married for 35 years, so
Wow.
so
Still happy.
Touch wood. Yeah, so I kind of practice that.
Nice. And to the people who are watching, a lot of times what is happening is very quickly they're getting angry. What's the solution to that?
Again, step back, walk away, take a breath, and think, why am I feeling angry? What triggered that emotion? So it's almost taking a pause. So you have the trigger, the stimulus, taking a pause and saying, okay, I can feel this. Why is this anger coming up? Because there is always going to be something. And usually it's us, not the person in front. It's how we're feeling. I mean, I haven't experienced it here, but in Hong Kong, we used to get into a taxi and they'd go, "Mom, where do you want to go?" And I think, "Oh, I want to go so-and-so." And, and he would be so grumpy. And I'm thinking, and I could get angry. Oh my God, why is he so, why is he so grumpy like that? But you don't know what's happened just before you stepped into that taxi. You've seen that much of that much. You don't know, he might have had a phone call or something. Yeah. So give people the benefit of the doubt just in that moment, saying, okay. Because you becoming angry or reacting doesn't actually achieve anything. Which I've learned in I keep saying Hong Kong, but which I've learned in Dubai is patience. Patience at traffic lights in Dubai. That's a great thing to kind of really say, don't get angry. This is just the way things are, And I've noticed that it's because impatience leads to anger. So maybe it's impatience that you're feeling in the first place, not anger.
Even the fines. I'm happy you don't drive, but the people who drive in Dubai, the fines nuts. So you better be careful for that.
No, I can't drive in Dubai because they drive on the wrong side of the road, as far as I'm concerned.
So now I have some amazing questions for you.
Sure.
And so basically I wanted to ask you, is Sekhem energy something you learn or something you remember?
Once you've learnt it, you're never going to forget it. It's always with you. And you can tap into it all the time.
What's the biggest lie we have been told about healing that Sekhem completely breaks? That
other people heal you. You only heal yourself. All the person does in front of you is actually holds a space, creates that space for you to be able to heal yourself.
Can Sekhem heal things that therapy and medicine couldn't?
medicine. Medicine kind of treats the symptoms, not the root cause. So you have to get to the root cause of why you're having problems with your stomach. And normally, if you're having, for example, if you're having to talk, you can take antacids or whatever, but normally it's like, what are you not being able to digest in your life? Is it anxiety? Because anxiety shows up in your stomach. So it could be an emotional thing. So with Sekhem and with therapy, you can actually look into the root cause of something, whereas medicine is the symptom.
Okay. Have you ever witnessed a Sekhem healing that even shocked you?
Yes.
That's
a
few of them.
A few. Things we've set an intention, and this person has lost contact with someone that they really wanted to contact, and we did the whole session, and it was like making that emotional connection back with that person. And within half an hour, this person hadn't the session that I did. She hadn't spoken to the guy for years, and she'd lost contact. And within half an hour after the session, he contacted her.
Wow.
Another one was where somebody was having real problems. It was the whole dynamic with her work, herself, and her lawyer. And it was a real money problem. So we kind of, there's techniques in Sekhem that we can use to help heal and resolve conflict. And this was a conflict. Wow. So we looked at that, and she was in a real state. So I actually used her as an example in the class. And within half an hour, and one of the main things was basically she'd lost a lot of money. And the money had been taken illegally out of her account. And she was fighting, and she'd been doing this for months. And we did this whole healing process. And within half an hour, she got a call, and the money was back in her account.
Wow, that's
so
wonderful.
These are practical things, but I've seen people where pain can go away straight away. They've just physical pain can be resolved straight away.
Wow. So why do some people feel lighter after Sekhem while others cry or feel tired?
Lighter would be because you've unblocked things and the energy is flowing, so your own vibration is higher. So what was the other bit you said?
Or they feel tired.
Tired would be because there's a lot to process. So I say it's opening that kind of Pandora's box, right? So things, you've kind of shut these things away. The opportunity has arisen for the subconscious mind to say, excuse me, I'd like to kind of look at this. We look at that. And then just looking at that can be exhausting. Luckily, Sekhem energy works for about 3 days after you've had a session. So you're still processing. And that can help you, and then I'm at the end of the phone anyway. So I normally call people or message, say, how are you feeling? Anything or whatever. Or if there is an adverse reaction, which is very rare, it's normally because they haven't drank enough water, or something else has come up, which was a deeper thing, which we actually haven't been able to, we didn't have time to look at. So, and what was the third thing you said? Oh, crying is release. Absolutely. So if you're crying, that's emotions that are trapped, and those are now being released, and that's a good thing.
That's the best one.
That is not a bad thing at all. And yawning, if you're yawning and crying in a session, that's you releasing.
Wow, I was yawning in this between us. You're already doing your wonders. Wow. So is Sekhem energy connected to source or pure love? And how should people understand this without getting confused?
What if source is pure love? Okay. So in actual fact, Sekhem energy is unconditional love,
Wow.
right? That is the energy from source that we're asking for.
Wow.
So absolutely drenched in unconditional love.
So I want to share something with you here. I learned something about myself, that is my life lesson for this life is unconditionality. That means in all different sense. So what would you like to tell me? Like, what should I do that I can really come closer to that? Really every day come closer to that life lesson.
Unconditionality. Just flow through life. It is just flowing, allowing. You're allowing, and things will come up. You say, oh, okay, that's coming up. Like weather patterns. You see the weather patterns. You're not going to, oh, you're going to just, okay, that's happening. Right. Why is this happening?
I don't yeah, exactly. I do that all the time.
So why is this happening? Oh, okay, it's that.
That, yeah.
That's okay.
I don't even see, okay, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like that, just flowing through that. Okay.
That's what it is. It's all about flow.
Oh, wow. So that's all.
I feel it's just flow, because if energy's flowing, there's no blocks, then you're always going to be vibrating at the emotion, that joy, or that unconditional love that you're experiencing from everywhere.
Wow.
And when something doesn't flow in the right thing, oh, I don't like that, it's momentarily, because then, oh, okay, that's okay, doesn't matter. Let's keep going.
So go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Nice. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What kind of people usually resist Sekhem energy the most, and why?
Oh, interesting. And why? One is people who are very attached to religion. So, I mean, I've said I'm Sikh. I've been brought up Sikh. And it's a religion I respect. Do I practice it? Not fully, but do I respect it? Absolutely. I love the scriptures. I love the approach. All is one. We say ek onkar. Everything is one. We're at one with everything. Different religions have different ways of approaching that oneness. Quite a few religions do that through control. If you do this, then you will have to do this. There's a action and reaction. So depending on that, they go, oh, no, that that goes against my beliefs, my religion, and I respect that. I said, fine, that's fine. That's their journey, right? I am not here to convert you. I'm here to present. Say, look, this is what we do. If this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't,
It's also great.
that's also good, because then you just carry on with what you're doing, because that's obviously helping you in this lifetime, in this moment.
Wow. This is very interesting. So to me also, like my life, I don't look any religion particularly, but I love all of them. I visit every place. There is something that I've understood. Some people have faith in one, and that is also really so beautiful, that they achieve everything in life because of that faith. So which I've seen is super nice. And but again, like they have limitations.
Again, you see, it's defining the word faith here. Faith in what? Faith that I'm going to give you everything and it's going to happen for me, right? Faith is, okay, this is a way of approaching life, right? So Buddha it's a way of life. It's not a religion. Buddhism is not a religion. It's a way of life. So if you approach your life in this way, and there's some kind of guidelines, do this, guidelines, right? And if you follow those guidelines, that can maybe get you to an enlightenment. That's the ultimate, right? To get to that. But so faith, first of all, is in yourself, right? And every religion is guiding you. Whether that guidance is positive, negative, or neutral is up for discussion, right? But really, it's like, what resonates with me? Do I have faith in me? And normally when people give control of their being to other people, it's because they're distrustful, they've had challenges, they're miserable, lots and lots of different things. So that's why we go, what can I do? What can I do? Where can I go? And religion kind of helps those people to give them a focus. Because that's what it is. It's a focus to help them to kind of achieve a better way of emotion, a better emotional state.
So true. So true. Very nice. And so if someone has just 60 seconds to experience Sekhem in daily life, what should they do?
We all have healing hands. Now, we can all heal ourselves, but we have to remember that we can do that. And the first thing, if you think about it, when we hurt something or we've had a headache, oh my God, my head is hurting, we automatically put our hand there because we have healing hands.
Wow.
Right? So believe that, okay. And what I do is like, why, what's going on? What are you trying, headache, what's going on? What are you trying to tell me? Because something that's happening to your physical body is a manifestation of something in your emotional or mental imbalances that's creating that physical
Pain.
dis-ease.
Or suffering.
Dis-ease, exactly.
Talking about suffering, how can someone overcome suffering?
Oh God, that's such a
Deep question. I'm like,
again, it's suffering of what? Suffering because it could be internal, external.
Suffering in life. Because a lot of people are trapped, they're just suffering with so much of low vibrational emotions.
Low vibrational emotions normally are because of the situation that they're in.
Exactly.
But then you see people who have actually absolutely nothing.
Nothing. So being grateful for what they have currently.
Yeah. So just be grateful. I think this is where, you can shift your vibration. Just be grateful for what you do have. If you have food, great. I fed today. Guess what? I'm breathing. I'm alive, or I have health. I've been able to do this. I have a roof over my head. These things we forget because, oh no, my life's this, my life's that. Well, it isn't as bad as, somebody is always going to be better off than you.
Yeah.
And somebody's always going to be worse off than you. So be grateful for what you do have. Because if you're grateful, that gratitude is a vibration that you send out. And guess what? You will get more gratitude back.
Yeah. It's so nice that you said that, because we don't experience life. We experience life what we focus on.
Mm-hmm.
That
Absolutely.
means we need to be so smart and focus on the positive, because that is going to amplify. Of course, there's negative, and of course, we can have a look at it. We can feel those emotions, we will not avoid them. But of course, the aim is to be looking at these positive ones and really going big on that, because if we do that, then there's no problems in life.
Yes and no.
Okay, lovely.
So with those negative emotions, it's like when you have a negative emotion, okay, why am I feeling this? Mm-hmm. What's below that? What's below that?
The why.
Oh, okay, that's what that is. And when you've got to that thing, oh, that's why it is, you can let it go. You don't have to hold on to that negative emotion. Exactly. You see, unfortunately, covering it up with a positive emotion doesn't mean that the negative one goes away.
Of course not.
Because once you stop being positive, you think, oh, I'm still feeling like that.
Yeah.
So it is to kind of analyze, why you're having that negative emotion, and then letting that emotion go. Flow.
Exactly.
Passing. Clouds, weather patterns, just let them go.
Yeah, that's why I said to feel it.
Yeah.
And the good thing you said me is the why.
Yeah.
I think, yes, someone should focus on the why, the bigger why of why it's happening. Express it, feel it, and then, yes, focus on the bigger ones, which is nice, lovely. Okay, so what would you say to someone who thinks energy healing is just placebo? There are people like that.
Absolutely. Again, I'm not going to try and convert the converted. There's people who are already happy with that. People who are not, that's their journey, right? If this makes you uncomfortable, if you don't believe in it, then that's okay, right? But for example, hypnotherapy 50 years ago was seen as a fad.
Oh, yes.
Meditation was seen as a fad. All of a sudden now they've been scientifically proven that meditation is actually beneficial for you. They've, put probes on people's brains and noticed that. Hypnotherapy now is also seen as scientifically good to do. So it's time. So at some point in the future, somebody's going to scientifically prove that healing and energy work is actually good for you.
So nice.
But up until then, we all have belief, somebody says to me, no, you have to, can you scientifically prove about energy? I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Is that your wife over there? He goes, yes. I said, do you love her? He goes, yes, I do. I said, okay, scientifically prove to me then why you love her. Right? Because you can't yet.
You can just feel.
Exactly, right? But they can't scientifically prove why you fall in love with that person and not with that person. So wait. Time will tell. And you have to, again, have faith, have trust that these are the emotions I'm feeling. These, and there is something bigger than me. And would be very naive to think that we're the only species, the only planet, and we know that we're not the only planet of living life form here, in our universe, in our galaxy. We don't know.
I don't know, for sure. And so, last question. What's the difference between Sekhem and Reiki?
Sekhem has Egyptian nuances. Reiki has Japanese nuances. It is coming from a Japanese approach. Sekhem, we charge your hands and your feet, so you're grounded as you bring through the energy. Reiki is coming from source, just through your hands. I've never done Reiki, so I can't make that comparison. But people that have done both, they do that. Whereas Reiki kind of feels a little bit nice and soft. Sekhem is a bit more laser focused and gets to where things need to go. So it's a different energy. I think both are wonderful systems. It depends on which one you align to, which one you
most resonate with.
Resonates with, yeah.
Oh, wow. Lovely. And so last question. This is just, I don't know, somehow. Do you believe in aliens?
Depends on what you mean by aliens. Aliens could be, are they thought forms? Are they your higher self? Is it?
That's the higher self.
Are they your guides? Are they different species? We just don't know. We do have guides because we do. Well, all of a sudden we'll get a thought and go, "Oh, where did that come from?"
Wow.
Right? Aliens is it depends again. It's that kind of Western definition of what an alien is. Like I said earlier on, it would be very naive to think we're the only species that exist in our universe.
Wow. Such a beautiful conversation.
Thank you so much.
So much loved it. The energy, the presence, the wisdom. Oh my God. So thank you so much for being here and really sharing your knowledge and sharing your time to be able to educate so many people, because I think a lot of problems that everyone is facing is literally the solutions are here, straight up. So thank you so much for being so awesome.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being such a lovely host.
Thank you.